I should write it. Little notes.
You'll still be reading it. You'll see it.
Oh. So my name's Fiona Barnes. I was born in the Southern Highlands in New South Wales, and I grew up in England. And then we lived in Townsville for a long time, and we've been in Wollongbar for about 10 years. My parents got divorced when I was about 10. And when that happened, my mum and I started going to church on a Sunday, but it was on an irregular basis. So it was my mum that planted the seeds of faith in me. So I'm very grateful for that. I found church back then, to be honest, a little bit stuffy and uninspiring. In my 20s and 30s, I didn't really attend church. It was only probably Christmas. But I believed in God, but I wouldn't have called myself a Christian. So I didn't read the Bible at home, and I didn't pray. Probably around 14 years ago, I lost my mum, my dear mum, in very tragic circumstances. So that really made me start to question everything. But the more I questioned, the more solace I began to feel in God. We all moved down as a family about 10 years ago to Wollongbar for a tree change. So it was nice to see some green grass after living in the dry tropics for so long. Other than the tree change, I wasn't really quite sure why we ended up here. But as time has gone on, I realised that God led us here in a big way. Initially, Hamish attended a different school for the first couple of years, but then I met some students from TVAC. They were year 11, 12 students, and they were so wholesome and so respectful that I thought Hamish needs to go to that school. And I've just been so grateful for the strong leadership that he's had there. The staff have been amazing. If he was at any other school, it just wouldn't have been the same. He just wouldn't be where he is now, so incredibly grateful for that. So what really brought me to faith in a big way was during the COVID years. That really showed me in a big way that I needed God more than ever. And it caused me a lot of anxiety initially, like it did a lot of people, you know, losing their jobs and their homes, their income. But over a time, faith over fear became my new motto. So I just really clung on to God through those times, and that was the beginning, and it's just sort of grown since then. I think initially I'd attended one of those vegetarian cooking classes, and I met some people from church there. So they'd invited me along, and also a friend of mine, Jess, invited me to church. I was in church one day after the service, and I was talking to Milena, and she asked me whether I'd done Bible studies before, and I said no. And I said to her, "Are you offering?" And she said yes. So that's how it all began. I found the studies really interesting because there was so much I didn't know. I especially love the wisdom books, and Book of Proverbs is my favourite. Being a parent in this fallen world, just having that practical wisdom is just precious. For a long time, I delayed baptism. I felt that I didn't know enough about the Bible, or that my testimony wouldn't be powerful enough. But after having Bible studies with Milena, I just knew there was no time to waste. Jesus gives me hope. Having hope in his word just anchors my soul and makes me realise that no matter what's going on in the world, eventually everything will be made right, and that's very comforting. So I'd like to be an Adventist because I'm a truth seeker and I love the emphasis on Bible prophecy. And I love that we can just go to Jesus with all of our struggles, our grief, our sin, and we can just come as we are. There's just no need to be perfect. I'd like to be baptised because I've placed my faith in Jesus and he instructs us to do so. And I look forward to the day where there is no more injustice in the world, where there's just perfect peace and joy, and God wipes away all the tears from our eyes, and we can see our loved ones again in heaven, and we can see our Creator. And as the hymn goes, what a glorious day that will be.